Oh, yeah. Five-star. LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going off to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This is the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, 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 way down in the back.
TA, we are live. Welcome to the Tigers Avenue Show. Tuesday edition, as always, recapping the past weekend for the LSU Tigers football team. The win over the South Carolina Gamecocks. And obviously, we will discuss a pretty big game coming up, Zach. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that, but as a lot of people have said this season and last season, this ain't your grandpappy's Vandy. The field is different. So, obviously, we're going to give you a good recap of the South Carolina game and everything that transpired in it. And there were several dings and bumps and bruises, it felt like. So, obviously, we'll give you a little update from what BK said in his press conference on the injury report. And we will look at LSU versus Vanderbilt in Nashville, Zach, in Nashville.
First time since 2019.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. And there's some pretty crazy stats, I guess you could call. I guess it's a statistic for Vanderbilt, or a little note tidbits for this Vanderbilt game that we will have to discuss, no doubt. But obviously, the focal point right now is the South Carolina Gamecocks game. Zach, man, it just feels like LSU owns South Carolina. Like in my lifetime, I've never seen us lose to them.
Yeah, you're right. We've never lost to them in our lifetime, have we?
Never. I think the last time LSU lost to them was like 95, maybe
94, maybe 95. I think you're about right on that timeline.
So yeah, literally not in our lifetime.
Yeah, no, literally.
You have dominated them. I mean, Leonard Fournette dominated them at one time. I remember
Jeremy Hill dominated them in 2012.
I remember the game when they wore those hideous uniforms, those gray uniforms, like
all gray
camo pants, but the jersey wasn't. Horrible uniforms. But you beat them then. Of course, you beat them in dramatic fashion last year, comeback fashion last year in a controversial game.
Not really.
South Carolina fans would call it that, but
yeah.
But anyways, and this year was no different. Zach, I just want to say from the jump. Now, look, I'm just as there's frustrations that I have, and I'm just as frustrated as any other fan about things, right? That the obvious things that we'll discuss. But I want to say from the jump, LSU, if you look at it in the box score, LSU really dominated this game. Like, the score was 20-10, but you beat South Carolina a lot worse than 20-10. A lot worse. I mean, in spite of, we'll get to the negativity, Zach. In spite of all the negativity, your offense put up pretty solid numbers statistically.
Yep.
Better numbers than what they've been.
Mm-hmm.
Was the rushing game amazing? No, but it was certainly better.
I mean, 5.5 yards per
Five
carry.
and a
I
half
think
yards a
pretty
carry,
good.
I will take it. And there were times when me and you were frustrated at Brian Kelly. It felt like it was a cop out at times. He was trying to, say LSU was running the ball well. And, with the whole Florida incident, and he was like, well, see, you saw the last play. We can run the ball. And we were like, but that's literally half of your rushing yards in one play, right? LSU did have a big run in this game. And that's good. It's good to have big runs, okay? So I don't want to sound like,
They had two.
It's a good thing to have big runs. Yeah, and it was two big runs. But if you take away the really big run from Jawan Johnson, you still had over 100 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you had the big run. So it was better. Is it awesome? Is it amazing? No. But I will take 168 yards, 5 yards a carry, over 5 yards a carry all day. That is much, much, much better than what it has been. It was nice to have Caden Durham back. Jawan Johnson obviously ripped the big run. Garrett Nussmeier threw for 254 yards, had the 2 touchdowns. Obviously, the big thing that everybody's upset with and is frustrated is the turnovers, right? The 2 interceptions from Garrett Nussmeier. We'll talk about those. They really are inexcusable. I mean, they're just not acceptable. Like I said, we'll talk about the negatives. But he was 20 for 33, 254, 2 touchdowns. He looked better, like he looked better. There were some drops. Again, that kind of continues to be a problem. Right, the deep ball to Chris Hilton, it was there. It was there. It hit him in the breadbasket. Was it perfect? No. Could have led him a little bit more. Regardless, it hit him in the chest. You got to catch it. But Zach, I mean, there is no brighter spot in this game than healthy Trey'Dez Green. I mean,
Oh yeah,
grief.
MVP of the game.
I mean, Zach, he's a nightmare. He is a nightmare mismatch. You see why LSU loves him so much. Zach, 8 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown, and was darn near close to another touchdown. Really wish he would have had another touchdown because we could have punched it in and saved ourselves from the embarrassment that was the next few plays. But nonetheless, he had an amazing night. Zach, Kyle Parker had an awesome night. Kyle Parker, I mean, quietly is emerging.
I said it in our text thread on Saturday. Unsung hero of the offense so far this season.
Yes, there has been times when, man, he has flashed, and he certainly flashed Saturday night. Yeah, I mean, next year, Kyle Parker,
his year,
legitimately be the guy. Right? He's awesome. What I would say is not so great is the touches with Xavier Thomas and Barian Brown. I mean, they've got to touch the ball more. Have to. Nonetheless, I was much more pleased, Zach, with the offense, the balance. You had a run game. It felt like that actually you could actually move the ball a little bit with the run. You had over 400 yards of offense. Zach, the main problem was the turnovers. So, like I was saying, we'll talk about all the negatives, but your offense was better. You look at the box score, they were better, much better than what it has been. And Zach, the defense. I mean, what more can we say about this defense other than they're just – I mean, we've run out of superlatives. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Baker is an awesome coach. These players are amazing. You never see Mansour Delane. You never see him. You know why? Because he's a lockdown corner. And then guess what? At the end of the game, they try to go at Mansour Delane on a 4th down play in their last-ditch effort, right? I mean, it's literally do or die. They try to throw at Mansour Delane. What does Mansour Delane do? He comes up with the PBU. He's amazing. Zach, he's the best corner in college football right now. He is well on his way to a Thorpe Award. If he continues this, I mean, by all means, the Thorpe Award is his. He's been fantastic. The defense was awesome. They pressured Lenore Sellers all stinking night long. Zach, what really, really hurt you last year was mobile quarterbacks. And people have talked about that a lot, and they talked about it a lot coming into this game with Lenore Sellers. I mean, you contained him. Now, did he slip tackles? Yes, he did. He's a huge dude, Zach. He's huge.
Mm-hmm.
He slipped tackles. But, Zach, he rushed 19 times for 22 yards. Or, excuse me, 22 attempts. I got that backwards. 22 attempts for 19 yards, less than a yard a carry.
I think it was Cole Kublik who put it on Twitter, I think, today that he had his total amount traveled during the game was like almost 900 yards. It's insane.
The statistic, 19 rushing yards on 22 attempts, but his total distance traveled, 894 yards.
Yeah, it's insane.
What does that mean? Your defense had him running all night. He was running all night. Zach, outside of the one missed assignment in the run game, and really it was a misassignment, but you also had Tamarcus Cooley, who was coming down hard and missed the tackle. It could have ended with Tamarcus Cooley, but he missed. They broke it free. Aside from that one blimp, the one little blemish, the defense was outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, just outstanding. They halfway through the season, Zach, they're in the top 5 of just about everything. You sent the thing today where stop rate 80%. For LSU, it's top 4 in the nation. It's up there with Ohio State and Texas, Oklahoma. This defense is legit, Zach. It is a legitimate national championship caliber defense.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say all of the positive things up front because I know we're going to talk about the frustrating things. But there's just been a overwhelming, I feel like, amount of negativity that's come since the game. And I think that's because you lost to Ole Miss, right, in just embarrassing fashion. And then you have a bye week to let that stew. And then Ole Miss does not play good against Washington State. That makes you really mad. And then you want to see your offense just go out and just really get after it. And they did. They did. But, Zach, because of the turnovers, the score doesn't reflect that. So we're still left a little unsatisfied, right? And rightfully so, because I am as well. I'm unsatisfied. I wanted it to be much more than 20-10. And Zach, truthfully, it should have been. So, Zach, tell us a little bit about your thoughts coming off the game. Those are the positives up front, right? I want to hit you LSU fans with a little bit of positivity. The defense is stellar. It is stellar. Literally top 4 in the nation, championship caliber defense. It is stellar. Your offense showed signs of improvement of not I mean, South Carolina is not an elite defense, but certainly a good, solid defense South Carolina has, and your offense moved the ball well against them. Zach, give me your thoughts, and then obviously we'll get into some gameplay and we'll go through it as well. But your initial thoughts coming off the game.
Well, I hate to be repetitive, but I have to agree with you that the eye test didn't really do the offense a whole lot of justice because of the turnovers. But as you said, they were moving the ball really well. And when you go through the game flow of this game, especially in the first half, and you look at LSU's 3 drives, we obviously already know that on LSU's first drive, it's a guaranteed 3 and out, right? I mean, that's it's almost guaranteed at this point.
It's rough, dude. It's
A little
rough.
bit of a joke there, but
Yeah.
it seems just like it. Almost every first drive for LSU is going to end in 3 and out. It seems like, but following that, you could have had, and we've talked about this. I've specifically mentioned this before in previous podcasts. You have moments throughout the games that LSU's played so far where they had these sequences of drives that if mistakes didn't happen, they moved the ball very efficiently and could have tacked on a lot of points. So you get the turnover there right after South Carolina starts. You're right. Their first drive, very first play, they fumble the ball. Right. You get the ball back. You kick a field goal, right? Which I understand is frustrating. It's a very frustrating thing. You would have wished that LSU could have capitalized there, but
You're so deep in their territory.
You were so deep in their territory. You want more points, but this is what the sequence could have been. Okay, they kick the field goal after the turnover. Then you drive the field, 13 plays, 71 yards. You get it down to the half-yard line, and you think you punch it in. Upon review, Juwan Johnson fumbles at the half-yard line. And that's unfortunate. It sucks as a fan to deal with that, but consider the context. They drove 71 yards on 13 plays and were right there on the doorstep to punch it in.
Yeah.
That would have been 10 points. On their next drive, they go 6 plays, 72 yards, and they score the touchdown, of course, with the little fade route there to Trey'Dez Green. If you think about that, that's field goal. If you don't cough it up there at the half-yard line, touchdown.
Yep.
That's a really good sequence, right, for LSU.
Yep.
That's playing complementary. That's playing complementary football because obviously, they had the turnover, you get points. We wish we would have been more, but turnover, you get points. South Carolina misses the field goal. You drive the length of the field. Should have been a touchdown. You fumbled it, unfortunately, at the half-yard line. I understand, it is what it is. You can't, disregard it, right? It happened. It sucks. Yep. But they miss a field goal. You drive the length of the field. You respond. Your offense responds after they had the broken play that went 72 yards for their own lone touchdown, right? That the one play that the defense didn't have, didn't go well for them. You score a touchdown. So there's moments throughout the game, Reagan, where it's going good. Then you go to the third quarter, right? Third quarter. You want to stack, right? You want to stack good sequences, good drives together, back to back. Third quarter, 4 plays, 75 yards. And, of course, you have the big pass to Kyle Parker, who turns on the Jets and houses it. And as we already previously mentioned, all the roses and all the flowers to Kyle Parker for the game he played. He continues to impress, continues to grow. Then you go 6 plays, 83 yards. You're inside the 10, knocking on the doorstep again, and Garrett Nussmeier throws an interception. Again, you can't just discount what happened and the mistake that happened, but you went 6 plays, 83 yards. That drive started off an incompletion, 4-yard run. Garrett Nussmeier converts on a 3rd and long with a 21-yard run. How many times have we talked about wanting to see Garrett Nussmeier drive again? Juwan Johnson breaks off the 56-yarder. And so you're right in business, right? And unfortunately, you had the interception, right?
Yep.
Garrett didn't read the safety. Safety played help side, and you got intercepted, right?
Yep.
That's unfortunate. But, again, you had a sequence there where you could have stacked touchdowns back to back, right? And this isn't a great South Carolina defense, but they're not a bad South Carolina defense either. They're a good South Carolina defense. They got Dylan Stewart playing on the defensive line. They've got some good players there, right? I understand they're a little banged up at corner, but it's a good defense that this LSU offense was going against. And, we've seen them go against defenses that weren't good, and they struggle. They went against Louisiana Tech and could barely muster any offense. So they went against Ole Miss, who statistically is a bad defense. I understand Ole Miss fans would probably say differently, but statistically a bad defense. And, you just couldn't do anything against them. But this defense, this South Carolina defense, it's a better defense than Ole Miss. It's a better. I know Ole Miss fans are going to completely disagree with me on that, but go look at the statistics. They don't lie. Stats don't lie. They're facts. Statistically, a better defense, South Carolina is, than Ole Miss and Louisiana Tech, and LSU was able to move the ball, right? We heard from Brian Kelly that Nuss, after the game on Sunday, felt no pain at all. And you could tell, like, he had the zip on the ball. Like, he had zip on the ball. He had better accuracy. The only time that I think of an inaccurate throw, like, I think of several inaccurate throws when we look at, like, the Ole Miss game. Like, I think of several inaccurate throws that he had, right?
Going back to the Louisiana Tech game, I mean, you could see them.
There was only, like, really two, I think, maybe two, obviously the two interceptions, but then you had the one that was early on, and he kind of threw it behind Trey'Dez. Like, only 2 to 3 inaccurate passes out of 33 that he passed for. Like, that's really good. Like, now you gotta not turn the ball over on those two inaccurate passes there. But I can only think of those 3. That were bad. Out of 33 passes. So
and the one interception necessarily wasn't a bad his accuracy wasn't bad. It was a bad read.
Yeah,
right there.
Bad read.
The red zone.
Accuracy, it would have been there if the safety's not there.
Right.
If he reads the safety off, or if the safety's not there.
You got to hand the ball off there. Safety just cut the route off.
Correct. You should have handed the ball off. So if you want to take that away, 1 to 2 passes that were inaccurate. Everything else looked pretty good. The deep ball to Chris, which was I think 50 yards or more, right there in the breadbasket. Chris has got to catch it. Chris has got to catch that ball. That's on Chris. It's not on Nuss. Nuss made a great throw. So it seems like there's improvement. The run game looked better. They averaged 6 yards a carry. You had 2 backs that were able to, in Juwan Johnson and Kane Durham. Kane Durham had 70-something yards. Juwan Johnson, obviously the big one, but he had 66 yards rushing. So there was definitely improvement. If you take away the turnovers in this game, we're saying this is LSU's best played game. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
The good news about that is we can say that LSU has still not played their best game. They've still not played their best game. You can't count Southeastern.
Let's hope.
They
haven't played their best game.
But I think LSU's best game is yet to be seen.
I agree.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see that here in probably the next month or so. Hopefully it's at not at AM, but hopefully it's in the next 3 games.
Sure.
One of the that you play, because this is LSU's toughest stretch. Let's just be honest. But be at home to see the defense perform the way they did. It was impressive, Reagan. I mean, think about how many times South Carolina was able to get a drive going, and LSU, either South Carolina by their own mistakes or LSU by their stellar defense, was able to keep South Carolina off the scoreboard. I mean, South Carolina had plenty of times throughout the game where they could have gotten at least a field goal. And because of their own mistakes, because of LSU's defense, they were able to keep them off the scoreboard as much as they did. Reagan, only 3 points allowed in the second half. The defense has gotten better, has been at their best in the second half of every game we've seen. That was the case against Ole Miss. That was the case against Clemson. That was the case against Florida. That was the case against South Carolina here this past weekend. So, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating and it's infuriating to have to watch the LSU offense have the struggles that they're having, especially with considering what we thought was going to be a really good LSU offense coming into the season.
Yeah.
But they're progressing. They're getting a little bit better. They're getting better and better each week. Nussmeier is getting healthier it seems like he's more and more healthy. Hopefully you can get Aaron Anderson back healthy right before this big weekend matchup. So, and that kind of leads us, Reagan, into our second segment there. I know we've already gone 25 minutes here on the game, but outside of what we've already discussed, Reagan, is there anything else from this game that you wanted to mention?
I mean, yes. There's one more thing I want to mention, negative wise. Man, the offensive line. It wasn't a bad night. I mean, you obviously you move the ball when you rush the ball up better. But man, I don't want to pick on any particular player. I don't. But right now, it feels like your right tackle is a liability. And look, Brian Kelly was pretty blunt about how he felt about Weston Davis. He's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. They're sticking with Weston Davis. Look, he's coached football a lot longer than I have. And I have no doubt in my mind that Weston Davis has a lot of potential. He was a 5-star for a reason. His size and athleticism, it's all there. But man, he's going through the ringer right now as a redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what he needs. That's what Brian Kelly's kind of saying. Hey, we can live with it because he's a young guy. We can live with some of the mistakes. We think the only thing that's going to make him better is these reps. But holy cow, you just hope it doesn't cost you down the line.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like there's some options you could go with, whether that be DJ Chester, whether that be Carius Kern, or you had Josh Thompson who played. He did play guard last year at Northwestern, but the year before, all the years before, he played at right tackle at Northwestern. So you have a guy who has a lot of experience at right tackle in Power 4 football. You could bump Josh Thompson out to right tackle and put Carius Kern at a guard because Carius Kern, truthfully, is probably a guard. He's probably going to be a guard. He's probably more natural position. So you have a guy who's experienced at right tackle and a guy who's probably more natural at the guard with Carius Kern. There's options there. I get that you want the guy to get the reps and learn and grow, and you see the potential in him, but you also don't want it to cost you games because you're trying to just get a young guy reps. So yeah. I get what he's saying, but it also makes me nervous. Dude, it could cost you. Let's, God forbid, he whiffs and Nussmeier gets destroyed and he's out for the season. I mean, we hope that doesn't happen, but it could. How many times did Dylan Stewart beat Weston Davis?
A lot, but here's the thing that I don't think we're giving this offensive line credit for. Reagan, how many times have we talked about the issues that this offensive line has had and is having, but then looked at the box score and there's no sacks?
I mean, it's true. It's true.
South Carolina did not record a single sack,
and that's great. And credit where credit is due. That is awesome. But holy cow! I mean, Zach. I know there was no sacks, but Garrett Nussmeier took several hits.
He did.
He took several hits, and of course was coming off limping a couple times. And
they're giving up pressures, that's for sure. But they haven't given up a whole lot of sacks.
Right.
And maybe a large part of that is because they're getting the ball out. Garrett Nussmeier's getting the ball out quick, right?
Right.
But they haven't given up a whole lot of sacks, Reagan.
And I will say also the interception that Garrett Nussmeier threw over it was either over Kyle Parker or over Xavier. I can't remember who it was.
It was over. I think it was over. It was one of those two, but you're right. I think it was over Kyle Parker. He
was having to roll to his left and throw off the balance because he was having pressure from the right side.
Yep.
Now I'm not saying that excuses his turnover, but man, I mean, it certainly plays a role in it. I get what Brian Kelly's trying to say. I understand that, but you just don't want it to cost you greatly. Hopefully it plays out. I hope it works out. I really do. I hope he continues to improve and becomes amazing. I hope that. But, man, he's getting it's rough sometimes. It really is. But that's all I have to say about that. And speaking of Garrett Nussmeier limping off a few times, need to talk about a few injury updates, Zach. Is there any comments we can get to really quickly before we
yeah, let's get to some. Todd Jones in here. Appreciate you being here with us, Todd. Todd said, didn't realize LSU has played 85% of their SC games at night. The next highest is Alabama at 48. I think it was actually there was one team that was at 54. I want to say it was A&M maybe, or There was another team that was in there, and they're at 54%. I know exactly what graphic you're talking about, Todd.
Yeah.
There was another team in there that was at 54%, but I think A&M or Alabama was both up there at like 48, something like that. It might have been Florida. It might have been Florida. One of those teams was up there at like 54%. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane that it's in that. And guess what? You get another one 2 weeks from.
Yes, you do.
From this past Saturday at A&M's, or excuse me, A&M coming into town.
You're probably, because you got the A&M game at night. I'll say you're probably going to get the Arkansas game like midday. Because
or you're going to play Alabama at like 2:30.
Well, Alabama's at Alabama. I mean, like home games.
Oh yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah,
home
you're
games,
right.
You're probably. I hope they make the.
Maybe you get Arkansas at 11 a.m. or 2:30.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen. But I hope it's the Western Kentucky game and we get the Arkansas game at night. Anyways, but yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yep. Let's see who else is in here. Ryan is in here. He said, "What's up, Passa?" And Passa, the pass blocking hasn't been as bad as the run blocking. No, it hasn't. I mean, I just stated it like they haven't given up many sacks, right?
Yeah.
But
they haven't.
Nussmeier's definitely been pressured. All right. My wife is in here. Dad, watching you. LSU is the best, Jalea. Okay, that's that's a 5-year-old there on the YouTube. I love it. She's got the purple yellow hearts. Yeah, she's watching us, so appreciate the family support there. That's awesome. But Reagan, moving to injuries, we got a slew of injury updates yesterday from Brian Kelly. Obviously, a lot of people want to know about Nuss because he was limping. It's not a high ankle sprain, just a mid ankle sprain, nothing bad. And as I previously mentioned, feels like he's on the other side of the ab strain, whatever you want to call it, torso, whatever you want to call it. Feels like he's on the other side of that because he felt pretty good on Sunday following the game.
Yep.
Bernard Gooden left, but he's expected to be back next week. Aaron Anderson is working his way back. He's expected to play. I know Caden Durham had a small injury, but he's expected to play.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. There are some other ones in there, Reagan. Maybe you can help me remember some of the other ones in there.
Was the one that everybody was worried about because he was going off the field with no pads on or anything, was headed to the locker room. That was the one that really had everyone concerned. Thankfully, it's just a bruised collarbone.
Yeah.
Not broken. So BK said it's going to be dealing with soreness, dealing with pain, nothing too crazy. That's really good news because when he was walking off Saturday night, I'm like, crap, that stinks.
That's been your best interior lineman.
Yeah, right. You've already lost Gabe Relaford. You've lost a guy at defensive end. You don't want to lose a guy in the interior with Bernard Gooden. And Bernard Gooden has been, probably your best interior guy this year. Did you mention Jamari Butler?
No, I did not.
Jamari Butler's a little nicked up as well. Nothing too crazy as well. It was an overall good injury report.
Yes.
It wasn't anything bad, anything long, sustaining injury. So that's all good news. He did say Aaron Anderson would probably be listed as probable for this upcoming weekend. So that
looks like he might play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And honestly, that's something we didn't talk about. I mean, you went out there and you played your game and 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you didn't have an Aaron Anderson out there.
Yep.
So what could it look like with Aaron Anderson?
And Barron Brown and I don't even think
David Thomas barely got any touches. Two catches.
Anderson recorded 1 catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 2 from Berrien, only 1 from Xavion. So, those been 3 guys that you've heavily relied on early on this season. Your leading pass catchers was Trades, obviously, and then Kyle Parker with the long of 43. So, you didn't necessarily need those guys in this game. You didn't necessarily, you necessarily need Aaron Anderson or the guys that you've relied on mostly throughout the bulk of the season so far. So, even if you don't have him against Vanderbilt, you're probably okay. And you probably want him back by A&M Alabama. I'm sure he's going to play in the Alabama game, right? I would assume he's going to play in the A&M game for sure too as well. So if it's you can nurse him back and not really have to worry about him missing more time, even if it's this upcoming weekend with Vanderbilt. But I would expect him to play. We'll see what happens.
I think he will.
Ultimately. But anyways, like you said, Reagan, overall good report coming out from the press conference that BK had on Monday. That for the most part, this team's pretty healthy.
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. Well, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break real quick. We'll come back and we'll hit you with this preview of the matchup this weekend right after this.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Stop by to try Fulton's newest drive-through coffee shop, The Well Coffee Co. for all of your coffee needs. Iced, hot, blended, however you like your coffee, we got it. You don't like coffee? Try one of our Red Bull infusions. Maybe you want something else? Try a smoothie of different flavors as well. We'd love to see you at The Well Coffee Co. Monday through Friday right now, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Well Coffee Co., John 4:14.
Right back at it here in the Tigers Avenue show. Final segment. LSU versus the Vanderbilt Commodores. Big time matchup, Zach.
Yeah.
Big time matchup. Zach, I saw this statistic on I believe it was X. This kind of blew my mind about LSU. Well, about Vanderbilt mainly. And their odds, betting odds. If you've looked at the betting odds currently, LSU is an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt is the betting favorite by the last I saw was 1.5, 2.5. Has that been updated, Zach? Is it 2.5 or 1.5?
Let me check. Last I heard it was like 2.5, but it may have changed since then. Let me see if I can
2.5.
Yep, I was going to say. Last I saw it was 2.5. Yep.
Indeed. But this is like the first time in a ranked matchup that Vanderbilt's the favorite in like since like the 1940s.
Golly.
Is that not insane? I really want to find it.
Well, they have been ranked a lot.
Right. Is it Cole Kubelik that put it out? Well, I don't know.
Crazy.
Either way.
11 a.m. on ABC.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 1940 something is the last time Vanderbilt was favored in a ranked matchup like this. That's insane.
Great. Yeah,
that's
insane.
So
it's literally been like 85 years.
Yeah, like it's been a long time.
It's been an entire lifespan.
Anyways, that just blows my mind. But
longer than the average lifespan. Just great.
Like we said earlier, this is a different Vanderbilt. Clark Lee has this Vanderbilt program heading in the right direction.
Yep.
Former Notre Dame Brian Kelly assistant Clark Lee. They obviously know each other very well with their past relationship at Notre Dame, and Clark Lee seems like he's got things going the right way. He's at his alma mater. He's got a drive. He's got motivation because it is his home and where he graduated, and he's got Diego Pavia, and he's got people believing in the old Commodores. But Zach, before we get into that and we really dive into the preview, this is somewhat related to Vanderbilt because he used to coach Vanderbilt. The former Vanderbilt coach, James Franklin, Zach. James Franklin. Excuse me. Fired from Penn State.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Feels like a Dan Mullen situation.
Yeah.
It's Dan Mullen in Florida situation. I mean, honestly.
I'm shocked, really. I honestly, I thought it might happen at the end of the year, but honestly, I didn't think they should fire him because how much higher can you go? How much higher can you go at Penn State?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can go and get Matt Rule. I mean, that's legitimate. He's a Penn State alum, played at Penn State. Like, that's legitimate. I think that's the guy they need to go and hire is Matt Rule. Maybe they swing for Signetti. I mean, that would be a big splash hire, but that's about the biggest splash hire you could get, right? I mean, I get James Franklin. I get it. Like, he hasn't won some of the biggest games, but Penn State isn't known for being a national title contender all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He literally had them a game from the national championship last season.
Mm-hmm. Fired.
And was playing Oregon, a top 5 matchup, 2-3 weeks ago, and was leading in overtime. And they were ranked number 3 in the country. But then they ended up losing that game. They lose to UCLA. They lose to Northwestern, and they're 3-3, unranked, and he's fired. That is insane. I mean, that sequence of events, Zach, was crazy.
Yeah.
A crazy few weeks in Penn State. I mean, I really don't know how much higher you can go with that position. Maybe Matt Rule, maybe Kirk Signetti. I think those are the only 2 names. I'd be like, that's good. That was good. Yeah. But I don't know if it was worth it, that much money. I just don't.
Regardless, we'll see who they hire, and let's talk more about LSU and Vanderbilt because there's going to be some big matchups, Reagan.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt hasn't been great at throwing the ball this year.
Yeah.
And they also kind of struggle on the back end of their defense. So there's some matchups there to kind of focus on. They already struggled to throw the ball. They've been good at running the football, but LSU's been so good at defending it. LSU's been so good at defending the run. You take away that 72-yarder. That's I don't know, you can't take it away, but minus the 72-yarder, and LSU would have held South Carolina to about 120 yards, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. And then, you look at on the defensive side of the ball, LSU's receivers, if Garrett Nussmeier has time, which, as we mentioned, he's been pressured, but hasn't been sacked a lot this season, so he's had time, looks more healthy. If he's got,
and they don't have Dylan Stewart.
They don't have Dylan Stewart. Yeah, they don't have Dylan Stewart.
Their front seven's good. It's good, but they don't have a Dylan Stewart.
No. So if Garrett Nussmeier has the time, LSU's receivers should be able to get open, right? But the same thing we've been saying is going to be the same thing that we're going to have to say for this game. LSU has to establish a run. They have to. We know against Ole Miss, they got away from it. Hardly ran the football, hardly made an attempt to run the football. Against South Carolina, they did. They ran it 30 times. They rushed for 168 yards, averaged 6 yards a carry. A lot better than the previous few games. So if LSU can do the same, I think it leads to a very successful path for LSU, and one that could be a game where we look back and say LSU played their best game of the season. I think in the next 3 weeks you're going to see, and we discussed it earlier. I think in the next 3 weeks we're going to see a game from LSU where fans look back and say that was their best game of the season, right?
Sure hope so. Yeah.
Hopefully maybe that game comes later on in the season, like maybe postseason, hopefully. Maybe LSU's in the playoffs and that happens. Yeah. That'd be ideal. But if we're talking about regular season, I think that this could potentially be a game where we look back and say LSU played their best game of the season.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, we're coming back here on Tuesday and say LSU has on Saturday against Vanderbilt played the best game of the season that they have so far. So, I like the matchup, Reagan, but I will say this. I'm a little nervous about Diego Pavia because he just seems to have the it factor, Reagan. Like
Right.
I mean, I think he is somewhat of a terror for opposing defenses. But also, a lot of people said that about Lenora Sellers, and Lenora Sellers didn't really do much on you. The problem is, Reagan, they are at home. Now, I understand that Vanderbilt Stadium is not. I don't even know what it's called, Reagan. I mean, what is it? What's it called? I don't know. Let's go.
It's not a well-known stadium. It's not
a well-known stadium.
And even though they're a better
First Bank
team,
Stadium. Okay, First Bank Stadium.
And even though they're a better team, it's not like it's some raucous environment.
Yeah, newly renovated. It's not a big stadium.
Yeah.
I think if this game is being played at night, it's a lot more difficult environment for LSU to walk into. This game's getting played at 11 a.m. I think the time lines up well for you. I think the matchup lines up well for you. Because they already kind of struggle a little bit throwing the ball.
Yeah.
They're better at running the football, but LSU's been really, really good at stopping the run defensively. Right. And I mean, who is that going to? It's gonna have to take somebody during the game, post game, for me to go. Yeah, they just had LSU's number. They beat LSU on the run. Like Ole Miss didn't beat LSU running the football. But I just like the matchups, Reagan. I really like LSU's defense stacking up against Vanderbilt's offense. And I think that with the struggles that Vanderbilt's had on the back end, that you have some opportunities there to maybe finally hit some big plays to your receivers. If you can establish a run, you have to be able to establish a run. So let's talk about some TA tools for Triumph.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you absolutely have to establish a run. That's first and foremost. If you establish the run, you're going to open up the playbook for Garrett Nussmeier to be able to sling it to these receivers who should have mismatches on the back end of this Vanderbilt defense. Second thing, you cannot turn the football over. You're on the road. It's a little bit easier to overcome whenever you're at home and you have some turnovers like you did this past weekend against South Carolina. A lot harder to do when you're on the road. And you give a home stadium, regardless of how big this venue is, you give a home stadium that energy, that juice for the home team. You've got to limit the turnovers. You got to protect the football. Third thing, convert in the red zone. Not just turn the football. Obviously, LSU turned the football over in the red zone. That was the large issue, but that's why it was my second TA tool for Triumph is protect the football, don't turn the football over. But convert in the red zone, because there was other times when you got in the red zone, like the fumble that they had when they recovered the fumble right there inside the red zone, and you couldn't do nothing offensively. You come with a field goal. I think now that you have a healthy Trez Green, that the red zone is going to become a little bit more successful. Their LSU's red zone trips are going to become a little bit more successful. So you've got to be able to convert in the red zone when you're given the opportunity. That's the third thing.
Yeah.
Establish the run, protect the football, convert in the red zone. That's my three.
Yeah, I think the biggest tool for success is what Brian Kelly said in his press conference on Monday, and it's making Diego Pavia one-dimensional, right? He's a dual threat, not the greatest passer, but he is a dual threat. So if you are able to contain Diego Pavia in the rushing game and make him throw, you really like your chances with LSU secondary.
Yep.
Really like your chances with LSU secondary because it's not their strength. Their strength is run the ball, wear teams down. Diego makes some crazy things happen, right, sometimes. And they play solid defense. Their front seven on defense is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. It's solid. The back end of the defense is where they struggle a little bit. But, man, if they establish the run and they're chunking away at the run game, you're going to find yourself in a pickle, right, in Nashville. Zach, Diego Pavia, though, is their leading rusher.
Yep.
He is their leading rusher.
Mm-hmm.
If you contain Diego Pavia in the run game,
you control the run game. Yep.
You can win this game.
Yep.
you can win this game pretty well. And you like what you like what you saw with LSU and Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers, I think, is a bit harder to tackle than Diego Pavia is. I think LSU can contend. They just proved they can with Lenore Sellers. And I think Lenore Sellers is a much better athlete than Diego Pavia is.
Yep.
Diego just has kind of that like intangible it factor, right? Kind of like Johnny Manziel. That's kind of the comparison everybody makes, right? But physically, athletically, Lenore Sellers is far superior to Diego Pavia, and you contained him. So you can physically contain Diego Pavia, right? Now, it's a different game, different scheme, different offense. So you can't say, if A equals A, then B will equal B, right? Like, so you can't always do that. But it makes sense that if LSU can contain Lenore Sellers physically, athletic, with his athletic ability, they can do it for Diego Pavia. He just kind of creates things at times that you don't expect, right? And that's kind of the thing with him. But he's their leading
Their
rusher.
offense goes as Diego goes.
Correct. He's their leading rusher. You contain him, make him throw the ball. I think you're going to have a good day.
Now,
You're going to have a good day.
I'll say this. Here's where I'm worried. They're tight end.
Yes,
Eli Stowers,
Very
he's good. And if there's going to be a point of concern, it would be your linebackers against Eli Stowers because that's a mismatch.
Yeah, it is. It is.
For Vanderbilt. So, yes, you need to contain Diego, but you also need to know where Eli Stowers is at all times and have somebody, I mean, it's going to be difficult, right? Because you're going to have somebody that can cover really well. You're going to have a linebacker that can cover really well. So, like, this might be a game where we see Harold Perkins go with Eli Stowers a lot.
Yeah.
And we have some different forms of pass rushing on Diego Pavia. Maybe it's more of, a defensive back coming on a blitz. Maybe it's more of a, Weeks getting opportunities. The Weeks brothers getting opportunities to blitz the passer. Obviously, the defensive line as well. But
you
got to have somebody on Eli Stowers because that dude can hurt you. I mean, he really can. He's their leading receiver, right? They don't have a running back that leads them in rushing, and they don't have a receiver that leads them in receiving.
Right.
It's a tight end, and obviously Diego. So
exactly.
It's very interesting. Here's another concern for me. Vanderbilt had the week off, so they've been able to prepare for you for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas you had to prepare for South Carolina this past week. So if there's going to be two major areas of concern, I would put Eli Stowers against your linebackers and Vanderbilt's extra week of preparation at the very top of the list, more so than even probably Diego, because we've seen LSU be able to handle a dual threat quarterback like Cade Klubnik, like Lenore Sellers. We've seen LSU handle that very well so far this season. I don't know, maybe Diego Pavia is just that guy, and he tears LSU up. We'll see. It felt like Lenore was tearing you up with how many tackles that he broke, but when you actually look at it, they contained him very, very well. Again, he only rushed for 19 yards, and he was sacked 5 times.
You felt Jack Pyburn's frustration.
Yes, you very much felt Jack Pyburn's frustration because Jack Pyburn was looking at the back of his heels the whole night.
He just couldn't get him down, dude. He's a freak athlete.
But the importance was you were looking at the back of his heels for the all night because you were pressuring him so much.
Yeah.
So, man, that's huge for LSU in my opinion as far as concern. Ryan says LSU has to get out to a quick start. I would agree with that. LSU has not been able to have a quick start really all season.
Yeah.
So, Jay Tiger says, I just hope they have some smart play calling. I think you saw more of that this week because Brian Kelly had the play sheet. Brian Kelly has
does that continue?
Definitely inserted himself into the more so here recently with the play calling. So And I think you saw kind of the fruit of that this past week because, again, I understand LSU only scored 20 points, but you had 3 turnovers, but you moved the ball really well. You had over 400 yards of offense. That's a good night, especially against a good SEC defense. So, credit to the offense. They're making improvements. Hopefully it continues to improve even more this weekend against Vanderbilt. With maybe with definitely no turnovers or at least fewer turnovers. Ryan said Jack is still chasing Sellers tonight. Yeah.
Feels that way.
Jay Tiger said old Jack might wake up for his misses last week against Vandy. Let's see.
Maybe he can get after him.
He said there was better play calling against South Carolina. So
Zach, with all that,
let me make some predictions.
Yeah, let's get the predictions in. What are your predictions? LSU at Vanderbilt, Nashville.
Oh man, I honestly I'm really nervous about this game. I've gone back.
A tough game. I really do think it will be a battle.
Yeah. I don't think LSU is gonna get blown out or anything like that. I don't foresee LSU getting beat handily by Vanderbilt. If LSU loses, it's gonna be a really close loss. I think. Maybe similar to Ole Miss or something like that. But I can see one of three things. LSU could win close, LSU could lose close, or LSU could win comfortably. Which one of those is the truth? I guess I'll land somewhere in the middle and say that LSU is going to win this game close. And I'm going to say LSU wins 27.
I'd love to see 27.
I'd love to see 27. I'm going to say LSU wins 27 to 24.
I want to see 30 on the board so
bad. But I mean, even that pick, like 27 to 24, man, I'm not even super confident in that because, like, is this defense going to give it 24 points to Vanderbilt? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. So maybe I need to change my prediction. Let's go. See, so part of me wants to pick this game like the South Carolina game should have been. The South Carolina. It should have been like 34 to 10, 37 to 10, and it wasn't.
It should have been.
So part of me wants to pick this game.
Vanderbilt is better than South Carolina.
But yeah, Vanderbilt's better than South Carolina. I think
dog walk South Carolina.
Yeah, their offense is better. So I'm gonna say I'll go 24 to 20. I don't know. I don't know what team has scored 20 on us. I mean, Ole Miss did on their home field. Maybe that's similar to what LSU this game will be. I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna finalize it 24-20 LSU. I still don't know if Vanderbilt scored.
I agree. I don't think Vanderbilt scores 20 points on the defense. I just don't. I mean, I think the only reason Ole Miss scored 24 points was because they were out there for so stinking long.
Yeah.
And it only happened in the first half. 17 of those points came in the first half when they were on the field for forever. Right. In the second half, LSU's defense only gave up 7 points, only one score.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss, I would say Vaught Hemingway is a much better environment than it will be in Nashville. I'm going to say LSU wins 24-13.
24-13. Okay. I like that. That's a comfortable win. That's good. Let's see who else is in here. All right. Jay Tiger says, I'm predicting LSU wins 24-17. I'll take it. Ryan, it's time for 1-0 and to score more than 20 points versus a Power 4.
For the life of me, I want to see 30 points on the board so
bad. So
bad.
Doug knows in here. He said LSU by 2 scores. It's easy money. I hope you're 100% right, Doug. I really do.
Hey, let's hope we're back here talking about it and you're right. I'm going to tell you one thing, though. I mean, I want to beat Vanderbilt, and we need to beat Vanderbilt. If we beat Vanderbilt this weekend, all eyes on A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be some absolute revenge on everyone's mind.
Mainly Garrett Nussmeyer's.
I mean, it ought to be dog. Like, it should be like we're not leaving here unless we come out with the W. If we're losing, we're dying on this field, right? Like, God, I want to beat A&M so bad.
Yeah.
I want them to come to LSU Stadium ranked number 4 in the country and lose to us by 10 so bad. Just lose to us, period. But I want to beat A&M so bad. They're riding high right now, and I want to crush their spirit so bad. I'm looking ahead. We got to beat Vanderbilt first.
Yeah, we got to beat Vanderbilt
first. Who's A&M playing this weekend,
though? Let's go look real quick. A&M, they're going to end up being on a bye week or something like that.
They're at Fayetteville.
They're playing at Arkansas.
They'll win.
Yeah. That might be tough, though, Reagan.
Arkansas, don't you dare spoil it for us. Don't you dare beat them, Arkansas. Don't.
I'm fine though if they beat them and it means we beat them too. I'm fine with that. I'm good with it. If Arkansas beats them and then we beat them too, I'm good with it. Arkansas's due, man. They're due to beat A&M. They're due.
I don't think this is the year. I don't want it to be the year. I want A&M to come riding on their high horse, undefeated,
thinking they're gonna have
they are hot snot on a silver platter. And I want to crush their spirits. Les Miles, this is the place where dreams come to die.
Yeah.
If we got anything from Les Miles, we did get a national championship from Les Miles. But if we got anything from Les Miles,
we got that
quote goes hard.
It does.
It goes hard. And I want that so stinking bad. So bad.
We got to worry about Vanderbilt first, Reagan.
Let's be Vanderbilt first. Sorry.
Let's be Vanderbilt first.
Sorry.
You're getting ahead of yourself, brother.
Hatred. I saw the Jimbo Fisher and the Kevin Sullivan picture, and it stirred me up. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Stirred you up.
Golly, I hate them so much. Anyways, let's meet the Commodores first, okay? 11 a.m. kickoff. Preach. Yes, I know. Bro, I feel you. 11 a.m. kickoff. Hey, let's hope we're back here on Tuesday talking about a Tiger W. Hey, second half of the season. Zach, you're 5-1. You made it through half of the season, 5-1. If you can replicate that on the back half of the season and finish 5-1 on the back half, you're 10-2, and Zach, you're probably headed to the playoff. You're probably headed to the playoff. So,
yep, Reagan. One more thing before we get going here.
Yeah.
I want to encourage all of our viewers that are here on YouTube, all of our viewers that are here on Twitter, all our viewers that are here on Facebook. Do us a big favor. We got some big things hopefully coming our way here at Tigers Avenue. Hopefully, maybe announcing some things here soon, maybe the next week or two. Some big news coming that we're looking forward to. So do us a favor in light, I guess, in looking forward to this big news. Do us a big favor. Go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, make sure that you're downloading our audio version of the podcast so that you can catch us anytime, even when you're not able to catch us live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Do us a favor, go subscribe, like us, give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your audio version of the podcast. Please do us a favor. Go and do that. It would be much, much appreciated. And I say that because we have some big news, hopefully, that will be announced next Tuesday, if not next Tuesday, here probably before the end of the month. So please go and do that, and we will all love y'all for it. We appreciate all y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys are fantastic. Appreciate you guys being here as always. Hey, let's hope we come back with a Commodore victory. A victory over the Commodores is what I mean. Like over beating them, right? Like overcoming.
What even is a Commodore? We don't even know. We just know.
We don't know.
We know what a Tiger is, though. That's for sure.
Let's hope we're talking about a victory. We come back and LSU gets a ranked victory. Top 20 matchup on the road would be a big resume builder for the Tigers. Man, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game, and I hope the Tigers come out with the victory. We need it big time. So,
the Tiger says you guys need to be streaming. We are streaming.
We're here. We're streaming.
That's what we're doing. We're here.
Live.
We're streaming. Maybe you mean something else there, Jay Tiger, but we are streaming. We're live here on YouTube, live here on Facebook, and live here on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So
Ryan, yes. the 1-0 mantra all year long. It is time.
We have to have Ryan in here say 1-0 because the last time he wasn't in here and didn't say 1-0, we ended up losing.
Yes. Yeah. He's in here. He said 1-0. It's going to happen. 1-0. It's time, baby.
Ryan,
guys.
Ryan, the Bayou Bengal prophet.
The Bayou Bengal prophet, as always, in here. Spoken like the wise words of Solomon. It is time to go 1-0.
It is time.
It is time. Appreciate you guys being here as always. Hey, it's been a great show. Hey, LSU got a victory this past weekend. Let's hope they will continue on that track this weekend. Big matchup in Nashville. We'll see you here next time on Tuesday to discuss everything that transpires this weekend. Appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you next time. Foster here, take us out. Peace.
Who that fire stuff? Who that fire stuff? And the LSU Tigers, LSU Tigers.